This is a special time. If you look ahead to next year, 2010, it'll have been 80 years since the Cotton Bowl was built, 1930, a long time ago. And of course, in the mid-30s, when the first Cotton Bowl game, the bowl game was played here, this coming January, in a couple of months, will be the first time since the 30s that there has not been a bowl game here during the New Year's Day holiday. So I say we, I speak on behalf of Tom Starr, who you'll meet very shortly, on behalf of the Dallas Football Classic, saw fit to put a change to that real fast, put an end to that real fast. So we are here tonight or this morning with some very exciting news and tell you about the kickoff of a bowl game that will commence January 1st of 2011. And as I said, it'll be called the Dallas Football Classic. 3 conferences have entered into a rather unique rotation system and will compete in the game, and we'll tell you about that very shortly. Represented here this morning, coming shortly, Big 12 Commissioner Dan Beebe, with us already. All the way down to my far right is the Commissioner of Conference USA, Britton Banowsky, and seated next to him on his left is Jim Delany, who is down here from the Big 10. And to my immediate right is the gentleman that had this vision to put this all together and create this Dallas Football Classic, Tom Starr. Tom, for most of you, I think, is a good friend, a longtime friend, a short-term friend, whatever the case might be. He's been in the bowl business for a long time, going back some 3 decades. He's been with the Independence Bowl, he's been with the Freedom Bowl, he's been with the Sun Bowl, and most recently he was the executive director of the Armed Forces Bowl in nearby Fort Worth. So, Commissioner, delighted to welcome you. Thank you for being here.
Has it started yet?
Well, we said you were going to be fashionably late, and once again you lived up to your reputation, so thank you very much. But at this time, what I'd like to do is turn it over to Tom to bring us up to date. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tom Starr.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Scott. I want to echo Scott's welcome to everybody here, and particularly the media, because you will help us grow this bowl, and that's kind of where my roots are. I was both in the electronic media and the print media at one time and got my degrees in those things, so I understand, I think, a little bit about your trials and tribulations, and especially they're kind of exacerbated in today's world. So I just want you to know that we're here to help you, and I've always had an open door policy and an open phone policy. I'm at your beck and call 24/7. So I have some business cards out there, I think, that have all my numbers on them, so you're sure welcome to call whenever you have a question. So I just wanted to know that and to thank you for being here. The way this all started, the bowl game, there were a lot of people involved, but actually it was in the backyard of a good friend of mine, a pretty prominent athletic director, and we were just talking about how, this was a couple of years ago, how Dallas might lose postseason football, and I just thought that was a shame. And this might sound corny, but when I was growing up as a little boy in Iowa, a small town, I always loved Dallas, Texas. I had a thing for Big D. I thought it was the place. And of course, the television series magnified that. And being a college football fan, I always loved the Cotton Bowl and Cotton Bowl Stadium. And so when I got back to town, it just kind of angered me. I thought, you know what, this is not right. I mean, we have the great state of Texas, and San Antonio and Houston, El Paso and Fort Worth and Arlington are going to have bowl games, and Dallas, Texas isn't. I thought, perish the thought. I thought Dallas, Texas brought postseason football to Texas. So, with this great stadium we have, as Scott said, it's been around a long time. It's a grand old stadium, and with all the great renovations that have gone on, and now with the light rail system and all the things they're doing at Fair Park, it's just a great place to have a bowl game. And so that's how it came about. And then I thought, I wanted to talk to some of the community leaders here and movers and shakers, if you will, and put together a little advisory committee. And these guys are the ones that are responsible for this bowl game. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. And I want to introduce a few people that really need to be introduced. And first of all, Pete Schenkel. Pete, you're a gem to this city, and I want to thank you for all your help. Sitting right there too, they were on in the early going and just as valuable to this cause, both Errol McCoy and Paul Dyer. Errol and Paul. We've got Daniel Huerta over here. Daniel, thank you so much. Then I don't know where Roland is, but Roland Rainey's the best stadium manager. Here's Roland over here in the nation. And then there's some other people really behind the scenes that you might know about. I've got a great attorney going for me, Gary Reeves over here. Gary, thank you so much. with me at the Sun Bowl, and as was Dave Crone, who's here in the city now. We were all in El Paso at the same time, weren't we, guys? So good to see you. Oh gosh, some friends from the National Football Foundation over here. We got the gang over here with Steve Hatchell, the head honcho, and guys, thank you. Steve, you and I go back a few years too, don't we? Bill Palin, who runs the Call America Parade. Where's Bill? We're going to get together and work with the parade and have the whole New Year's time deal. And then you need great corporate partners. And I want to tell you, there's a guy here that you talk about guys that talk the talk and walk the walk. Here he is right here, Kip Hyde. Kip with Teletouch Hawk Electronics. And Kip, I appreciate so much. And Mike and Doug, I believe it is. Thank you guys for being here and all you do for our bowl, and we're going to make you proud. Last but not least, and a couple of gentlemen that have really been a big help, Ed Stewart from the Big 12 and Alfred White from the Conference USA. We're the guys in the trenches, weren't we, when we started to put all this together, so thank you so much. And then, of course, these three gentlemen to my right, I can't say enough. I don't know if you've ever tried to get three conference commissioners in one room together at the same time, but it's not an easy task. And they are extremely busy at this time of the year, and I really appreciate them being here. And last but not least, this guy to my left, Scott Murray, not only a great friend, but Scott has done so much for this bowl already, he and his son Doug. So all these people, and I hope I didn't leave anybody out, but certainly they've just been instrumental in this all the way through. One last person, my wonderful wife, Kathy. I came home last spring and I said, Kathy, you know what? I left my job at ESPN, and she, I believe her comment was, say again? And I said, well, in this great economy, I've got this wonderful idea to start a bowl game. So that's kind of how this all came about. But anyway, it's really not a new bowl game, as I've told some people. You know, we have a stadium that's had a bowl game for 3/4 of a century. We have a great city in Dallas that certainly knows how to take care of major college football teams. You know, the hotels, the restaurants, the entertainment venues. They've proven year in and year out, not only with the Cotton Bowl Classic, but with Oklahoma, Texas, and so forth. So certainly they're not new at this. You know, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck in the bowl business. I've been in this since 1979. So, you know, I've been around a little bit. And then, of course, these three conferences, how many bowl games have their teams been to? So we're actually an old bowl in new bowl's clothing. And I think that's a real comfort that we are an established bowl, you know, from the get-go. I think there were a few elements we needed to get in place before we started. One, I wanted to make sure the city wanted postseason football, and that's overwhelmingly yes, you know, and so got a good feeling, a great feeling from the city and everybody involved. Wanted to make sure we had great conferences. Well, it goes without saying that these guys sitting up here, we've done that. And I can't say enough about Dan and Britton and Jim having confidence to start with a new bowl game. Again, it's not new, but we haven't earned our stripes yet, and it's a real testament that they're up here with us. I thought it was important to get on New Year's Day Bowl because that's important on the campuses. It adds a little stature. The fans of Dallas, you know, are programmed to a New Year's Day game, so I think that's really an important thing to have. So I think the pieces are in place. The reason I wanted to get it started this year, two major reasons. Number one, this is a 4-year cycle that starts next year. If we wouldn't have started this year, we would have had to wait till 2014, and I didn't want there to be that big a lapse in Cotton Bowl Stadium. Number two, and I'm not saying this is happening, but I want to protect us against the fact that the NCAA could put a moratorium against new bowls, you know, after next year. And so that was a key element too. I wanted to make sure we got our licensing in April, and we will have that licensing until the end of time as long as we abide by all the rules and bylaws and so forth. Bowls are good for college football. They started in 1902, and we're going to add to that. Keep in mind that bowls are for the student athletes. A bowl is as important to Ball State as it is Ohio State. It's as important to UNLV as it is USC. And we're going to do our best to keep that tradition going and revolutionize the bowl business a little bit and have a lot of fun, and you're going to help us. Thank you so much.